Of 7 in the Magic weekend. We've seen some fantastic matches already. Now Edinburgh can enjoy the champions. Catalan Dragons have had the longest journey to Murrayfield. Leeds arrive on the back of a mid-season slump. They're in their worst run of form in 3 years. 5 games have been played. This is the way that they have finished. It seems an awful long time ago since Harlequins beat Salford in the opener. Bradford defeated Wakefield in Game 2. Saturday finished with a Wigan win against St Helens. Day 2 dawned with a Huddersfield win against the Celtic Crusaders, and we have just seen Hull FC beat the Castleford Tigers 24-16. So the table and Huddersfield are second, but for how long? Leeds will get there with a victory here. Hull are up to 7th now, Castleford down to 8th, and Wigan, well, they are back among the chasing pack. Can the Catalan Dragons get back into the playoff contention? Will Murrayfield inspire them? Let's take a check on the way the two teams line up. The Catalan Dragons first of all, and they've got Clint Greenshields at full-back, Vincent Duport, Stephen Bell, Jean-Philippe Bale and Dimitri Pello. Greg Bird has travelled back from Australia and all his off-field problems to captain the side, and Adam Mogg is the scrum half. So there's still no, the scrum half, so there's still no Thomas Bosch. The forwards, Remy Casti, Casey Maguire and Jerome Guisset, Olivier Elima and Dane Carlaw with Gregory Muniz at loose forward. And the bench is occupied by David Ferriol, Cyril Gossard, Kane Bentley and Jamal Fakir. For the coach, Kevin Walters. This is Leeds, and they've made a couple of significant changes. Brent Webb at full-back, Scott Donald, Lee Smith returns after, well, it's been a combination of illness and blood poisoning for Lee Smith. Keith Senior and Ryan Hall on the wing. Kevin Sinfield moves to stand off. He's alongside Rob Burrow, and Sinfield will captain the team. The forwards are Kylie Lulawai, Danny Medeiros makes a start, Jamie Peacock, Ian Kirk, Jamie Jones-Buchanan second row, Carl Ablett back at loose forward. And on the bench, Danny Maguire starts as a substitute with Ali Lautiti, Matt Diskin and Luke Burgess. The coach is Brian McLennan. And the Catalan Dragons supporters are here. It has been a long, long trip for them. Not so long for the Leeds Rhinos, but the champions always travel well. And the Warrington supporters in the crowd, they are waiting for Game 7. Their game against Hull Kingston Rovers follows this. The French are here for a party, and a couple of Castleford Tigers supporters amongst them. And I'm sure that they've been cheering on the Tigers in the last game that we have enjoyed here. The teams are emerging from the dressing rooms, as you can see. Our commentary team is already in place. Terry O'Connor's up there with Brian Carney, Sean McRae, and first of all, Bill Arthur.
Great travelling support, noisy travelling support, whoa, for Catalan Dragons. And they've come armed with banners, bells, drums. They brought a whole lot of paraphernalia, or even a lot of things, the Catalan Dragons supporters. They've probably paid all sorts in terms of extra baggage charges, so they're going to make good use of it. And they have been outside the ground, and they're hoping to make good use of it against the Leeds Rhinos, who are, as Eddie says, going through a bit of a dip in form. Thierry Alibert is the referee. Brian McLennan saying ahead of this game he has no problems with the Frenchman refereeing a game that features a French side, as if there would be any problem. And it's the Leeds Rhinos who will get us underway, having lost 4 of their last 5 games, dropping down to 4th in the table by virtue of that Huddersfield Giants win earlier on. So a bit of ground to make up, not only in terms of the table, but also in terms of form as well. The form definitely has dipped for the Rhinos, and they're hoping to turn that round here today as they get this game underway. Penultimate match then at Murrayfield.
As you said, Bill, they've lost 4 out of the last 5, and they've kicked the ball really deep. I think there's going to be a big reaction. There you go, Philip Lula. Kylie Lulawai, sorry, already putting pressure on this Catalan side. Catalan have gone for a real big imposing threat. I think Jason Riles is going to be a big loss. There you go, Greg Bird loses the ball, picks it up. Catalan have got now trying to get out of their own territory.
No Jason Riles and no Thomas Bosch significantly for this Catalan Dragon side. Of course, Sebastian Raga out for the rest of the season with his knee problem, so they are missing some key performers. But there in the shot, Greg Bird, key performer, controversial key performer, returning from Australia, having been convicted on charges but on bail and allowed to return and to take part in this game. And for coach Kevin Walters.
And we've probably got two of the most attacking fullbacks in Clint Greenshields and Brent Webb that are playing today. Both return the ball very well, win tackle one, and then the next players, the likes of Scott Donald, Ryan Hall, will be really looking to influence that. And here's a guy, Jamie Peacock. He'll be hurting from last week's defeat against the Quinn side.
Jamie Peacock, fond memories of this ground, a winner here in 2000 in his Bradford Bulls days. Here is Ablett. Ablett standing in the tackle, still looking round for an offload. Eventually the Catalan Dragons prevent him from doing that. Baderas making his first start for the Rhinos since he joined the club. Of course, he had problems with the shoulder and then the knee, and has been on the bench. Now then, Senior loses that ball. It went forward, and Thierry Alibert, after a pause to see if there was any advantage, calls them back, and Catalan will get head and feed.
Vincent Duport come off his line, and that's what you've got to do. If you come in and you've put the shot, and look at this, bang, he's hurt Keith Senior there as well. He loses possession just because of the shot, doesn't he, Sean?
Yes, it's terrific defence by the Catalan player Vincent Duport there, and if you're going to come in, you have to make the tackle, Terry. You're exactly right. But that turnover from Leeds was symptomatic of what we saw last week when they played Harlequins. Harlequins played extremely well to beat the Leeds Rhinos at Headingley, but Leeds were guilty of turning far too much ball over, and they've started off again today by not completing a set and been able to give the Catalan Dragons some fairly good field position to be able to restart their set.
Yeah, Harlequins winning 21-4 at Headingley a week ago on Friday, and came very close to nilling the Leeds Rhinos. Only Rob Burrow who saved that little bit of pride late on in the game, so just pretty symptomatic of the way things have gone for Leeds of late.
And you know, Bill, if that game would have been on Sky Telly and it would have gone to the video referee, the try would have been disallowed because Jamie Jones-Buchanan actually obstructed Rob Purdom.
So it was that close. Halifax remaining the only side to nil Leeds in Super League. That was back in 1998, 42-0. Halifax won that day. It's Leeds in possession now, on their own 40. Ablett takes the pass from Senior and takes the tackle on the halfway line. It's the fifth. And Sinfield, playing in this standoff role today, puts the kick in, and it skips over the surface and runs dead. Maguire on the bench, and the word is that Danny Maguire has been troubled by shin splints, so opting to start with Kevin Sinfield. And Danny Maguire's had that problem before. He's only trained for 1.5 sessions ahead of this game, apparently. So they're holding him back, and I suspect maybe that this pitch might have something to do with that. Not what you want to be playing on if it is the condition that you've got.
It's an extremely strong Leeds bench. Brian McLennan's got a lot of choices. He's got Matt Diskin, Danny Maguire, Ali Lautiti and Luke Burgess to bring on there. So if this game gets anyway close, they can bring these explosive players on and maybe kick away from Catalan.
Well, it's the Catalan Dragons in possession now, just inside their own half. Off goes Maguire. That's the fifth tackle. Both these sides testing each other out at the moment. The game mainly occupying the middle of the pitch. And Webb makes that look so easy. The ball coming into his hand. And Donald.
They're so physical, Catalan. They're just kicking for position. They're happy to try and play the ball up in Leeds territory. But every time they go into that collision and into the contact of the tackle, they look to really hurt you and dominate you.
Ryan Hall gets to his feet to play the ball. Burrow, Luluai, quick hands on to Kirk. Kirk quickly closed down as he plays the ball. Here is Sinfield now, comes back into the middle of the field, pops the ball out the back door. It reaches Burrow then, and Burrow across the field. Dummies to Senior. Links up on that far side with Ryan Hall, and Hall makes good progress. Leeds again coming down that short side with Senior. And Senior's pass is strayed and is picked up by the Catalan Dragons.
Keith Senior trying to create a 2-on-1. Rob Burrow just wasn't expecting that ball, but Vincent the ball picks it up straight onto the attack. This Catalan team aren't afraid to throw the ball around. There you go, 2-1. Rob Burrow wasn't expecting it, but Vincent the ball picked it up. And they're now attacking in Leeds territory.
And Leeds won't be happy with their start, will they? That's 2 turnovers, well, actually 3 turnovers when you consider that Kevin Sinfield kicked the ball dead. So it's not a normal start from them, and that just, again, allows
And Scott Donald has swooped on the loose ball, and it will be play on. Mogg is chasing him back, but Donald will have the legs. Will he have the try? This is surely going to go back to the video ref. And Thierry Alibert, as anticipated, asks the video ref Ben Thaler to have a look just to see what happened in that collision.
He's looking to see if the play knocked on. It was Clint Greenshields who forces this pass. He was looking to give it John Philippe Bale. Scott Donald just picks it up. Here you can see it closely. It actually come off Lee Smith. Was he looking at that? Did the ball play the man? Here you go. Lee Smith didn't make intentional play for that ball. It has come off his hand. Well, Ben
Thaler is the video ref. I have to tell you, there's a group of Catalan supporters sitting in front of us, and when they saw that on the screen, there was much arm waving and shoulder shrugging. And various other French characteristics. And they're waiting to see what the decision is. But they hope it's going to be no try, and Scott Donald will be denied, and it's kind of looking that way.
Sean, you make a good point about Leeds' start. It's difficult to know what Leeds... We're looking, ruling that it's come off Lee Smith. It's difficult to know what Leeds we're going to get today. Is it going to be the Leeds that put Huddersfield to the sword, or is it going to be the Leeds that succumbed at home to Harlequins? The start would indicate maybe the former.
Yeah, it's always hard to say, Brian, when a side comes out and makes a few errors. They just take a little while to settle. You know, we've been sitting around for a long time. They've probably been home watching these, or sorry, in the hotel room watching the games on television, and, you know, all of a sudden it's time for us to go out and play, and I just don't think they've quite settled as well. And you look at their personnel, and they're a very strong side. I don't think they could be much stronger, Leeds. They haven't got a lot of players missing, and it's just something they just need something to happen for them. And having said that, this Catalan Dragons side are a very difficult side to break down. They've got some tremendous players and some really experienced players out there who can organise play for you and can really control the game.
There's one of them, Adam Mogg, getting to his feet to play the ball. So Catalan looking to capitalise on that lucky break. Scott Donald denied his first try since March the 13th. He's hit a real drought as far as try scoring goes as the Rhinos winger. Bird. Here's Bale. This really form centre, one of the form centres in the competition at the moment, Jean-Philippe Bale. Has 6 tries to his name. Elima on to Greenshields, and then Mogg hoists a kick into the sunlight. The sun still on that side of the pitch, but Hall time to get underneath that. But then he's taken back over his own try line. Good work by the Catalan Dragons.
Ryan Hall, he jumped, he was strong there, but when he comes down, he tries to find the floor. But Bell, what an effort there. He doesn't let him drop to the ground. Ryan Hall's trying to find the floor. That's amazing strength, that, from Steve Bell. Influential player in your picture there in Adam Mogg. And they're probably the two halfbacks that they're going to look for in this game is Adam Mogg and Greg Bird. They're the two of the most go-to players in this Catalan side.
Greenshields and his Guisset, and Guisset motoring back at the middle of the field into the heart of that Leeds defence, and who is at the heart of it but Jamie Peacock. Bird onward, and Catalan well positioned as Maguire goes down the short side and looking for an opportunity there himself. Maguire, Bell is there. It's with Gregory Muniz. 4 tackles gone for the Catalan Dragons, right in front of those Leeds Rhinos posts, looking to get the first points of the game here. Olivier Elima trying to get his hands free to get that ball loose, still trying to wrestle his way out. That's the 5th tackle. Maguire stabs a little kick in, too strong.
Again, teasing little kick.
Okay.
We've seen a lot of the teams have been doing this. They've been watching on the television. The length of the grass have been holding the ball up in the in-goal area. On that occasion, there was too much strength in the kick.
Talk of strength. There's strength from Senior trying to find his way through. Greg Bird hanging on to him. Here comes Lee Smith now, back in action after that absence of 6 games. And Leeds lost 4 of those 6 as well, so they've missed Lee Smith. Sinfield, Kylie Luluai now. Leeds just looking to complete a set of 6, which will probably be for the first time in this game. Quick hands, gets the ball to Lee Smith. The 5th tackle, and Burrow, time to pick his spot for the kick, over towards that wing when Dupont is under pressure, and great pressure applied by Ryan Hall, and no hesitation from the referee this time. And try number 11 for the season for Ryan Hall, and he plucked that one out of the air. Dupont with a sitting duck as the ball hung, and Ryan Hall timed his run to perfection and swooped to grab the try.
They've come from defending their own line. Catalan tried to drop the ball in the in-goal area. They've tapped it on the 20. They've gone 100 metres up the pitch. And this is just sheer class from this Leeds outfit. Rob Burrow, look at the amount of time he's got there. And Ryan Hall concentrates, focuses on that ball. He puts his hands up. He can see through the target where the ball's going to go. And he catches it. There's 2 Catalan players there in his eye shot, but he just focuses on that ball. That's a good try by Ryan Hall.
Great take by Ryan Hall. The lack of pressure on Rob Burrow is worrying. He had all the time in the world to put that where he wants. As a kicker, I'm sure he'll be delighted with that. As a coach, you'd probably show him how to get a lot more pressure on Rob Burrow in that instance.
Well, you would expect so, Brian, and I think it was a great comeback from Ryan Hall, wasn't it, who just down the other end of the field had to catch a ball just from his own line and was dragged back, I think, by Stephen Bell and Adam Mogg, and, you know, actually forced a drop out. But Kevin Sinfield is able to kick that goal and make it 6 points to 0. But Ryan Hall there, it's a special take.
There is Hall, and he likes scoring against the Catalan Dragons.
Yeah, Rob Burrow, he'll do that all day if you give him time. Any kicker will tell you the last thing they want to do is have a forward charging at them, putting under pressure. I mean, even they should have... People look to hit him, leave him on the ground after he's kicked the ball. Nobody got within cooee of him.
He got 2 tries in the win against the Catalan Dragons in March. He got a couple against them last July, Ryan Hall, so he knows his way to the try line against this particular side. Well, he does against a lot of sides on the evidence of his try scoring so far this season. So Leeds, after a bit of a shaky start, are ahead by 6 points to 0 against the Catalan Dragons. Leeds looking to improve recent form, their worst run of form for the last 3 years, this current dip. Brian McLennan saying ahead of this game they know what the problem is, they're well aware of where they've been going wrong, and they've been trying very hard in training to put it right, but it's what happens on the field that's the important thing.
There's too many key players in this Leeds side that they're going to want to put it right now tonight. There's lads who are going to put the hand up, Leeds from the front. It really hurts you when you get defeated. It's like Jamie Peacock, Danny Baderas, they've been there, they've done it, they've seen it.
Again, it's the boot of Burrow. Poor overshot that one. Then came back strongly to claim it. Bell. Slight lack of enthusiasm from 1 or 2 of his Catalan teammates to take that one up. Eventually it's Dimitri Pello, tackled on his 20. And off they come with green shields.
But that's better play from the Catalan side. Leeds are really targeting the left-hand side. They're kicking down the pitch. Keith Senior's coming out with a real big kick chase, but Catalan done well to get to the ball, to the middle of the park, so there's options either side.
Bell, that's a stray pass. A bird it was with the stray pass, and Catalan not making much progress, going to have to kick from deep. And a kick straight down the middle of the field from Greg Bird. It's Donald who collects it, denied a try by the video ref, quite rightly, early on in this game. But Leeds 6-0 up. Lee Smith driven back in that tackle. Ablett now. Catalan there to meet him very quickly indeed as well. Catalan Dragons, while Leeds have been struggling, Catalan have probably been playing some of their best, certainly getting their best results. They've won 4 of their last 5 games to inch their way up the table. Here goes Rob Burrow. Burrow with Peacock on his shoulder. Peacock turns, offloads, finds Brent Webb. Webb to Senior. Senior back inside. Hall manages to offload that ball. Baderas, great hands from him. Well, except into the hands of Greg Bird.
Greg Bird looks injured.
He does look as though he's struggling, doesn't he?
Watch him here.
Go.
Jet lag, is it?
Well, it's that left thigh by the look of things. It's heavily strapped, as you say. Jet lag could be a factor as well.
I don't think jet lag would affect his thigh though, Bill.
DVT.
That last set of 6 by the Leeds team just shows you that they've come to play. They're offloading the ball every time they get it, and they're really playing with speed around the ruck, targeting these Catalan big forwards, and that's where the gaps are going to come if the Leeds players keep landing on the front, coming up with a quick play of the balls.
Jean-Philippe Bale with the kick, and finds a bit of space between Ryan Hall and his full-back. It's Hall who brings it back. This the penultimate game then in this Edinburgh weekend. And another good crowd here, great turnout from the Leeds Rhinos, of course bolstered still by the Warrington and Hull Kingston Rovers supporters waiting for their turn. Here's Peacock.
And they're warming Kane Bentley up now, looking to bring him on. Whether that's for Greg Bird, we shall soon see. But he is struggling.
He is, and Catalans struggling to cope with Badeiras and with Burrow, and they can't cope with Burrow's pace. He's in under the sticks for the second try of the game for this Leeds Rhinos side. And Brian McLennan sending instructions down to the sidelines, and that is more like it from his side. Out of sorts in recent weeks, but really rapier-like thrust through the middle of the Catalan Dragons defence. Badeiras leading the charge, and on the end of it was little Rob Burrow, his 3rd try of the season.
It's just the speed of which Rob Burrow and Danny Badeiras see this. Danny Badeiras picks up the ball, he sees that there's 3 Catalan defenders at the ruck, they have not got back, he picks it up, he knows the short somewhere, they're not facing him, they're not aware of what he's doing, look at him, he just picks it, he's gone, and who's in support? Rob Burrow, and there's no way in the world Rob Burrow is going to get caught from there. But good vision from Danny Badeiras.
And that try from Burrow takes him to a career tally of 900 points. And he's not finished yet.
When the Leeds Rhinos are allowed to play at pace, they're a very, very difficult side to beat. There were some signs there in the previous set of 6. They were able to just bash their way down the middle of the ruck, and they're starting to get a fatigue factor already on the Catalan Dragons side. And you can tell from that where their players are around to play the ball and they just can't get set. That generally indicates that the play the ball is far too quick, and when it's quick, people like Badeiras are just going to take advantage of that. Rob Burrow's always going to be in support.
Sinfield successfully converting that try, but Danny Badeiras, this is his full debut technically, having had to bide his time on the bench and making an impact, and that's what you want.
It's been a difficult start for Danny in his Leeds career, and I'm not sure it's the start he would have wanted to get off to, but he is a world-class player. And like Sean said, he'll take opportunities like that all day. He'll pull Catalans apart if they continue getting loose around the ruck.
Torn biceps and then a knee injury hampering Danny Badeiras ahead of his Leeds Rhinos career. Well, at the start of it as well. So there's big things to come from him. And it's looking ominous for the Catalan Dragons side already. 12-0 down after 18 minutes. And having to defend again. Leeds Rhinos in possession. And Sinfield looking for a 40-20, but got maybe a bit more elevation than he wanted on that kick, and Greenshield's able to collect the ball.
But how easy the Leeds players just find it. Well, Kevin Walters will be really disappointed with the defensive effort. When you're defending in your opposition's 20, you can get really tight, you can look to dominate, but the Leeds players are coming up and they're running as lone soldiers. They're landing on the front, standing up, playing the ball really quick, and that's what the game is all about. The quicker you play it, the more attacking options you will have when the defensive line is going backwards.
Well, Greg Bird is still out there, that left thigh still heavily strapped. And I think Kane Bentley has actually returned to the bench. Here's Mogg, back on the inside to Guisset. And that's the 5th tackle. Just inside the Leeds 40. It's Bird who hoists it. Lost his footing as he did so. Webb underneath it with time to gather that ball.
And that's good vision, isn't it? He put the hand up, he was shielding the sun from his eyes. He caught the ball and straight away he thought, not get down, I'm going to attack.
Go, well done.
Ryan Hall plays the ball, his Opposite wingman Scott Donald then makes more progress for the Leeds Rhinos. Tackled by Greg Muniz, he was. And Muniz in there again, and Maguire as well. Guisset with the tackle on the halfway line. Sinfield drills that ball downfield towards the corner. Dimitri Pello goes back to collect it and turns round to find there's a great wall of Leeds Rhinos chasers offering very little scope for movement there.
And that can't be very good, Brian. When you look up as a winger, you try to bring the ball back, and there's a white line, defensive line in front of you.
Very, very difficult. I think he did the right thing. He tried to find the ground as quickly as he could. This penalty is going to help him.
Bit of interference at that play, the ball. Danny Badiris was the culprit. And Catalan breathe a sigh of relief. Able to work their way up the field.
Worth keeping an eye on Greg Bird here. He's key. Our Catalan to have any chance in this game is going to be with Greg Bird on the field. Should they lose him, I think a lot of their chances are going to go. He's limping badly, struggling to get into the game.
But to be fair, Brian, you'd rather have a fit player on the park than an injured Greg Bird. He might be directing into his troops and trying to really organise things. If he's injured, I'm sure that Kevin Walters would have to get him off the pitch.
I think, Terry, what they're going to do is have a look and see how this game goes for the next 10 minutes or so. 12-0 is not insurmountable, but if Leeds were to go away with it, I'm sure Greg Bird would come off the field. The guy that's just passed the ball there, Adam Mogg, is also very significant a player. So is Clint Greenshields. The other player that creates a lot for them is the hooker, Casey Maguire. So they have got other options they can go to. There's no doubt if a player like Greg Bird was to leave the field, that would put a lot of pressure on players like Casey Maguire and Adam Mogg in particular.
Bell plays the ball for the Catalan Dragons. On the last tackle, the pass to nobody in particular, but it was Mogg who picked it up, and Mogg is running it, and Jean-Philippe Bale takes the pass, but is going to get tackled. That'll be the handover, and just running down a blind alley there, the Catalan Dragons in the end.
But they're willing to throw the ball about, they're willing to play, they're not going to give up this game. And the likes of Adam Mogg and Jean-Philippe Bale, they will look to attack on every opportunity that they have.
The Leeds bring it away. They've had a tough schedule, have the Catalan Dragons. Well, they're in the middle of a tough schedule. Of course, they were at Hull Kingston Rovers last Sunday, then back to Perpignan on Monday, back on the plane to come over here today, back home, and then they've got to make the trip again later this week because they've got a Challenge Cup tie in St Helens next weekend. So it's a tall order for the team. And Greg Bird, on top of that, has been back to Australia. The Catalan penalised for offside.
And again, it's just the speed of which they're playing the ball. The Catalan players can't get back, they can't retreat the 10 yards. And that's one thing that they've got to improve the discipline. Oliver Elliott has given away more penalties than anybody else in Super League. And I think this is a real key area. To get back into this game, they've got to be disciplined.
Here's Jamie Jones-Buchanan. Tackled on the 10-metre line, plays the ball, Peacock then charges towards that Catalan Dragons line. It's looking threatening from this lead side. Burrow on his shoulder with Lautiti. He plays the ball. Badiris pops it up. It's squandered by Luke Burgess. And the knock-on gives the Catalan Dragons another respite.
Luke Burgess was not expecting this ball. You could see by his body language with the run that he wasn't expecting it, but Danny Badiris has got out. He's looked to hit a player. It wasn't Jamie Peacock. He's chose to hit Luke Burgess, and Brian McLennan shaking his head. Cannot believe it. But it's all about reaction, and this is the part of the pitch that you want to defend it.
Well, Catalan Dragons have hardly been inside the Leeds 30-metre line, I think. They've spent the entire game on the back foot. That's a fumble at the play the ball by Pello. He protests that he was interfered with by Lee Smith, but I think it was his own fault.
And all the French supporters are standing up and waving their arms in front of us.
I think Dimitri Pello might have had a point there.
He's got a case here. That's a penalty.
Sneaky little move by Lee Smith. Dimitri Pello still shaking his head. Lee Smith saying, "What? Me, sir?" The innocence on his face.
Yeah, Thierry Alibert missed that one.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Thierry Alibert missed it, and his touch does missed it. He's not getting any help.
Yeah, it was pretty close to that sideline, wasn't it? Leeds head and feet at the scrum. Here is Brent Webb then. Webb to his feet to play the ball. Ali Lauatiti, the big man off the bench for the Leeds Rhinos. Celtic desperately trying to withstand this Leeds pressure at the moment. Here's Burgess.
Good shot.
Big hit from the Catalan defence, and it was Jamil Fakir into the action and making an impact early on. Burrow. And Sinfield couldn't take that pass, and Dimitri Pello has done. But Pello hasn't got the pace, or has he? He's bamboozling the Leeds defence there. I'm not so sure he knew which way he was facing himself.
He's spinning around here, there and everywhere. But you want impact off your subs. Oh, they lose the ball.
Ferriol couldn't take the pass. And Leeds have it back.
There's a penalty when Dave Ferriol lost the ball, but giving away a penalty again. Here it is, they couldn't take the ball. Dimitri Pello gets the ball, he looks to attack, steps off his right foot. Oh, spinning round, where's the gap, where's the gap? That's why they get caught by Jamie Peacock.
Ferriol has lost the ball here, and I think he's gone for a sneaky second grab after the tackle's been completed.
Yep, he stole the ball here, but again, look at that, a silly penalty. Leeds have now kicked for touch. They're going to get the ball, they're attacking 15 yards out from the line.
The penalty against the Catalan Dragons. Jamie Jones-Buchanan, you might have seen just on the deck, out of shot, but he's back on his feet, and Leeds are on the attack. Here's Lauatiti. Always looking to find a pass. Ali Lauatiti couldn't do so on that occasion. Plays the ball. Burgess, it is, plays that ball. Jamie Jones-Buchanan back on his feet and into the action. That's the fourth tackle as he plays the ball. Sinfield, pass on the inside. The try for the Leeds Rhinos from Jamie Peacock. Simple but effective from the Rhinos. And the Catalan Dragons coughing up possession, giving away the penalty, and they pay the heavy price for it. And Jamie Peacock gets his third try of the season, plunging over the try line from the pass from Sinfield.
It is, Bill. Simple plays, targeting the Catalan forwards up the middle of the park, really trying to pull them out, trying to just take some energy away. Jamil Fakir, this is the penalty. Dave Ferriol, silly penalty. You can't invite Leeds to attack 15 yards from your line. And you can just see the big Catalan forwards could not get over to cover Jamie Peacock. They're just pulling him up, they turn the ball back inside, they step in, and Gregory Muniz couldn't get there. You've got to close that gate, you've got to push from the inside. Any little play, anyone who's running with the ball in the hand is a threat.
At the moment, Leeds are playing the game at a level and a speed the Catalan can't deal with. Should this continue, I think we'll see Leeds kick on. The speed of the ruck is far too quick for Catalan. They can't get set, and Leeds are finding their picking holes.
Kevin Sinfield kicks another goal. Leeds ahead by 18 points to 0. It's up to 42 for the season now.
Yeah, and just pick up on that, Brian, as well. The only way there's two ways you can control the ruck. One is you get more possession, and the other one is you get more numbers in the tackle. And the Catalans at the moment are really struggling. They're struggling for both of those. A lot of times now we're seeing 1 and 2 men tackles. That's not enough. Their first couple of plays in each set have to be 3 into a tackle. Alternatively, get some more football, get some repeat sets, put some pressure on Leeds. We just haven't seen it.
But, Sean, if there's 1 or 2 men in the tackle, you've got to make sure you come up with a good shot. You've got to put your shoulder in. Whether you're trying to dislodge the ball or not, you've got to defend in the face, haven't you?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You need to win the air, and then you need to win the floor. You look at this tackle here now. They've got 3 in. They've won it. They've won it. They can get back. Their line is set. Off the next play, they should be able to get another win.
They might almost concede a penalty there as the man was lifted in the tackle. Webb finds Lauatiti, and Lauatiti... Oh, Burrow just couldn't get there. Invitingly, Ali Lauatiti was holding that ball out. Come and get it. But Leeds coming to get another one, maybe. 3 tackles gone. They're on that Catalan 40 again. The game being played almost completely in the Catalan half of the field. Medeiros gets to his feet Burgess gets to his feet to play that ball. Lautiti, well, there he goes, over the top. It was forward. That'll be the turnover.
How small does the ball look in Ali Lautiti's hands? It looks like a size 3. But that's just the skill that they've got. Look at that. He's got his ball. He's got the ball in his hand, and he just looks to play it on every occasion, Ali Lautiti. And they're really targeting Catalan's right-hand side.
Jamal Fakir in possession for the Catalan Dragons. Now David Ferriol. And Ferriol plays the ball. Mogg. Green Shields, good pass for Pello, Dimitri Pello. Sinfield coming across. They miss with that tackle, but Pello is eventually brought down. Jean-Philippe Bale goes on his own, Bale, and has Pello in support. Pello was looking for somebody outside him.
Help me, help me.
There was only the touch judge. Olivier Elima now. Elima. This is the best position the Catalan Dragons have been in the entire half hour so far. Mogg chips the kick in. Well dealt with by Brent Webb. Senior now, Senior away from the first line of defence.
Probably they were looking at numbers really out wide. You can see Keith Senior coming to the shot. He was the centre. There was only one more man outside of him. It's just about building pressure this game. If you get up there, try and stay up there, whether you try and force a goal line dropout, do something, just get into that arm wrestle. Look at the yardage Leeds are making.
Great hands from Burgess to Jones Buchanan. Webb in support. Webb easily evades the last line of defence, in under the sticks. Another try for the Leeds Rhinos. And that was a real crowd-pleasing try, especially if you're a Leeds Rhinos supporter. As again, they just ripped a great hole through the middle of the Catalan Dragons defence. Great work by Burgess to set things rolling.
Catalan have really got to concentrate, because every time they're up there in the Leeds 20, when Leeds get the ball back, they look to attack, they look to play rugby league, and they march 80 metres all the time. They seem to win the floor. The big guys coming onto the ball really strong. That is a real good line by Burgess. Jamie Jones-Buchanan, dummies, he double pumps it, and Brent Webb backs up like all good fullbacks do. But this was good play. That was a good angle run by Luke Burgess. He stays tall, he stays strong. Jamie Jones double pumps it. Have I got the legs? No, I haven't. But what that guy has, Brent Webb, and this Leeds team look really formidable on this form.
It's demoralising when a team's going to march down the field and score what is in effect a 100-metre try against you. Catalan kicked from a good position, made Leeds bring the ball off their own line. Leeds' reply was no problem. We'll come down the field 4 or 5 tackles later under the sticks.
And we'll have the points as well from Kevin Sinfield. 24-0 Leeds ahead.
We go back to the play of the balls, Brian, and we went back and looked at every play in that set of 6 leading up to try. Every player has landed on their front, and they've been able to play the ball so easily. And then when you're marching down the field, you're able to control things and dictate terms. And Leeds have far too many players who can just play off the back of anything, and they're totally dominating this game now. And you just sort of fear for Catalans and think, well, how are they going to get into this game? And the only way now is to be down in that end, attacking the Leeds line there and getting a few repeat sets. It's the only way they're going to get in it.
Muniz with that restart for the Catalan Dragons. And Brent Webb getting his 5th try of the season, and Leeds again looking to get the ball wide to Lautiti. Lautiti gets it to Ryan Hall, and Hall, has he got the pace? Green Shields coming across to hopefully for Catalan make the tackle. He won't get there. And another length to the field effort from this Leeds Rhinos side, has the crowd on its feet. Even those supporters of Warrington and Hull Kingston Road as well, some of them who are here for the next game, applauding that piece of attacking play from this Leeds Rhinos side. And this is more like the Leeds of old. This is what the Leeds supporters have been missing and what the coach has been hoping for.
All sets of fans are applauding at this stand. You've got to applaud that. That is fantastic rugby league from this Leeds side. Ryan Hall showed a real good pair of heels there. The 21-year-old, he hasn't half come on in recent years, but this is the kickoff. Watch Luke Burgess, he gets the ball, he should be tackled, he's running into a lot of area the Catalan plays, he bounces off. That's how you run onto the ball. He offloads the ball. Leeds looking to play every time they can. And it's this guy, Ali Lawatiti. He holds the ball in one hand. He knocks off Steve Bell. He promotes the ball. Ryan Hall's there. And that is just sheer speed. You can see Vincent de Paul in the background chasing him. He has not got a chance in catching young Ryan Hall. Brian McLennan will be really happy with that. But that has come from all the effort from Luke Burgess running really strong from the kickoff.
And Ryan Hall increasing his tries tally for the season, and Sinfield increasing his goal-kicking tally for the season. And Leeds 30 points to nil ahead here at Murrayfield. The magic coming all from the Rhinos.
Probably worth noting that Stephen Bell is the defender that found Ali Lawatiti difficult to deal with. Stephen Bell's noted as a decent defender, but when Ali Lawatiti's in this form, he's very, very difficult to play against. You can't get near the ball. You're left clutching its thin air. It looks like the big, schoolyard bully holding the little fella's packed lunch above his head.
What did you look at me for then?
Thank you.
So another restart. Catalan Dragons back where they were just a few minutes ago. Burgess again receives it. This time they do manage to stop that particular offload.
Okay, well done.
Ablett.
Okay, play on.
So Leeds really are red hot today, and this dip in form seems to be well and truly behind them. Somebody was going to pay for it, and it's the Catalan Dragons who are being put to the sword here, at least so far in the first half.
As I said earlier, Bill, there was always going to be a reaction. There's too many class plays, but again, a silly penalty here. Luke Burgess, interference, not letting the Catalan player get to his feet. Clint Greenshield's a real go-to man. Tries to get up, tries to win that play of the ball, and he earns his side a penalty.
Respite for the Catalan Dragons, but probably only briefly, because when Leeds get the ball in hand, they look threatening every time. Jamal Fakir, he'll take the battle to the Rhinos, but he needs some people on his shoulder as well. Kane Bentley is on, but Greg Bird is still out there for the Catalan Dragons. Whether it's a fully fit Greg Bird is debatable. And that is Bird involved in the action. Stephen Bell is tackled. Can Catalan Dragons get at least on the scoreboard before the half-time interval? Mogg, here's Olivier Elmer. Jean-Philippe Bale couldn't get there in time on the last. Mogg drills a little kick in. Ali Lawatiti there to collect it, and Mogg with the follow-up tackle.
They don't look worried, Leeds, when they defend their own line. They've got confidence in each other. The guys around them, they know that they'll turn up for each other. Jamil Fakir really trying to dislodge the ball, but again, a neat little kick by Mogg. Ali Lawatiti was aware of where that ball was going and recovered it for the Leeds side.
Just a couple of minutes to go in the first half here at Murrayfield. And Leeds, well, they've got a pretty good record as far as these Magic Weekend events go, having completed 2 wins in Cardiff over the Bradford Bulls in the last couple of years. One of those not without its controversial elements, Bradford Bulls would point out.
It's a better defensive set from Catalan Dragons, restricting Leeds from kicking inside their own half.
Greenshields running that ball back. Duport. Two tackles gone for the Catalan Dragons. They had a miserable start to the season, just 1 win from the first 7 games. Really struggled early on against Kevin Walters. They have managed to get things together in the last few weeks, but it's all coming apart here in Murrayfield. Here's Kane Bentley. Born in New Zealand, but raised in Marseille, Kane Bentley. Mogg stabs the kick in. Webb back there to field the ball. Gossard was chasing.
And that's the difference, Bill. There was only Gossard chasing up there on Brent Webb. Brent Webb needed to get that ball, look up and see a red line. One-on-one, Brent Webb's going to beat 99.9% of all players in Super League.
Matt Diskin is on for the Rhinos. Just making that first run. Here's Luke Burgess again.
Movement! Greg, 10 meters with me!
Made a big contribution has Luke Burgess since coming off the bench for the Rhinos. Sinfield with a cheeky little chip, but sails over the head of Donald, out of play and out on the full.
You could see Donald was aware where that kick was going to go. It's a clever little player. Leeds have used it a lot this season. Lee Smith following him up as well. Kevin Sinfield, a real director of this Leeds outfit.
The confidence obviously flooding back now for the Leeds Rhinos after the dip in form they've been through.
What will this be here, Bill? One play and put it in the make a contest of it.
They'd certainly like to score, wouldn't they, going in, Terry? But I think both sides will be delighted to go into half-time. Here with the Leeds Rhinos, you'll be delighted because you're leading by 30. But I think Catalan Dragons need to find a way to stop the hemorrhaging, don't they? And maybe think the half-time break is the best thing just now.
Right, I don't think it come quick enough.
Clock counting down. Pello takes the pass. It was forward. Thierry Alibert signals the end of a first half that the Leeds Rhinos have dominated from just about start to finish and made good use of the possession that they've had, dominating the possession to almost 70-30 percentage terms. And the Leeds Rhinos comfortably ahead at half-time by 30 points to 0.
Yes, the champions look like they've arrived in Edinburgh on a mission to send a message out to the rest of the Super League. They might be in the middle of the worst run of form in 3 years, but it has all been put to the back of their minds in the first half here. Leeds are ahead, 30 points to 0. Ahead here by 30 points to 0. 5 tries and 5 successful kicks from Kevin Sinfield. Next up, of course, it's Warrington. There are their noisy supporters, and it's Warrington against Hull Kingston Rovers to round up the magic weekend here in Edinburgh. But right now, it's the second half of Catalan Dragons against the champions, the Leeds Rhinos, and the champions looking bang on form. Back to the commentary box, Terry O'Connor, Sean McRae, Brian Carney, Bill Arthur, though.
Leeds return to the arena where Catalan Dragons are already lined up and waiting. You know, the Dragons have staged one big comeback already this season when they overhauled the Bradford Bulls in the Challenge Cup. I think it was 26-0 down they came back from. Can you see them doing that here?
The body language has got to be better, Bill. I see that Kevin Walters has got to give them a bit of direction at half-time. No matter how low they are feeling as a coaching staff, as players, there's still 40 minutes that they've got to go out there, they've got to put the performance right. And I think a Leeds side here will just want a full 80 minutes performance. And I don't think Leeds are going to let Catalan get back into this game. I just think it's going to be a real tough 80 minutes of football for Catalan.
No chance.
That was quite simple, Brian.
You're being paid by the word. It's Leeds in possession from the restart. And looking to carry on where they left off at the end of that first half, the Leeds Rhinos. And their supporters in much more jubilant mood. Oh, not for long though, because they've coughed up possession. And Kane Bentley will go in under the sticks for the Dragons. What are we talking about, a comeback? It started, or has it? Kevin Walters said something. And Kane Bentley was there as the ball was popped up, and I think it was the mistake from Ian Kirk. And the 22-year-old swooped on the ball to go in under the post to give the Dragons the best possible start to this second half.
We saw a shot to the changing room at half-time, and Kevin Walters didn't really seem to be saying anything. But look, there was a shot that come off Ferriol. He just gets out of the line, puts it there. Kirk loses the ball. Kane Bentley reacts and just plays to the whistle. He gets that ball down. Look at that. That is how you run onto someone and hit them with all your aggression. Kane Bentley got the ball. He's not waited about for the call from the referee, but that was just a fantastic shot from David Ferriol to really give his side and his teammates a lift back into this game.
Gregory Muniz with the goal-kicking duties. Of course, Thomas Bosk, who's kicked 36 goals with the side, is out of the game at the moment. So Muniz, who kicked one against Hull Kingston Rovers last week, is on target. And that'll give the Catalan Dragons a little bit of a lift. Kane Bentley gets his first try for 2 years. It's Catalan 6, Leeds 30.
I think looking at that try, that probably had a little bit more to do with the bad timing of the run by Ian Kirk than any sort of a shot that was put on. I know there was pressure, but he got the timing of his run all wrong.
Yes, it was, Brian, and Kane Bentley there just runs in and scores a very simple try. But you know what, I bet Kevy Walters has said at half-time, guys, I don't know whether you can win this game or not, but let's try and win the second half. But the most important thing is, let's not let Leeds score the first point. If we got any chance at all, we have to score the first points. I don't think he could have dreamt it was going to be like that and that early.
But you know what, though? Defence wins you games, and the Catalan players really got up, put pressure on Kirk, and he lost possession.
Well, it's certainly a lively start to this second half from the Catalan Dragons. And here is Ferriol, the man who's ignited it with that hit.
I wonder if Kevin Walters has said anything to Dave Ferriol.
Here is Bentley. There's no Greg Bird out there as far as I can see for the Catalan Dragons. They obviously made the decision at half-time to withdraw him from action. As Maguire puts the kick in and Webb comes across to field it.
And that's a better chase. That chase wasn't there in the first half. Really trying to dominate, turn Brent Webb onto his back. So he's coming off a slow play of the ball. Now what can the Catalan players do in this tackle?
Where is Greg Bird, who returns during the week to play in this game, but didn't look to be fully fit in the first 40 minutes, and withdrawn on the sidelines now. Jamie Jones-Buchanan in possession for the Rhinos, and certainly a lot more urgency about the Catalan Dragons in the tackle there.
There's a lot more sting in them tackles, Bill.
Burgess felt that from Jamil Fakir as he went in. Sinfield.
Okay.
Sinfield with a kick downfield, which Clint Greenshields fields. And then brings it back for this Catalan Dragons side.
Good defensive work from Catalan players, and the forwards now getting behind the ball. Jamil Fakir now looks up, Oliver Elmer looking up, trying to lay this platform.
Elmer's pass, and Jamil Fakir couldn't take it. It would have been spectacular if it had come off, because Fakir was through a hole in the Leeds defence, but he just went without the ball.
Well, he's done all the hard work in defence. He's offered himself in attack, just losing the ball as he goes through, off a little tip-on pass from Oliver Elmer. Oh, if he would have caught that, he could have kept on pumping those legs.
Senior with a good offload, gets the ball away. And Leeds looking to re-establish their dominance. Lee Smith tackled. It's the second tackle in this set of 6 for the Leeds Rhinos. Here is Sinfield. Remember, there's Danny Maguire still to come off the bench for the Leeds Rhinos. His shin problems that he's had in the week, forcing Brian McLennan to leave him on the bench at the moment. Here's Webb. Webb, senior, flicks it on. Too strong for Ryan Hall.
That was too strong, but I'm sure if Danny Maguire is on the bench, he will be fit enough to come on. But Leeds again looking to play. Keith Senior tried a little tip-on pass, but that man in your screen, if the Catalan forwards get tired, he will have a lot of joy in and around that ruck area.
What we're seeing from Leeds is a bit of a mirror image to their start of the first half. A bit sloppy, a bit scrappy, yet they came back strongly and finished 30 points up at the end. I expect similar in this. They've just been a bit slow to start either half of this game.
But this time, Catalan Dragons have managed to capitalise on it with that Kane Bentley try. At least they're off the mark. They've just got a lot of ground to catch up after that rip-roaring performance that Leeds settled into as the first half wore on. Maguire, here is Jamil Fakir. Strong Leeds defence to meet him.
It's only another 4 tries they've got to score. They scored in the first 2 minutes, Bill.
Maguire again. Had Cyril Gossard on his shoulder to take that pass. 4 tackles gone for the Catalan Dragons in this set of 6. Bentley, Maguire. Maguire for Mogg. Mogg passes the ball to Olivier Elmer. Elmer is past the last line of defence, but he will get another try. A second try in the second half for this Catalan Dragons side, and Mogg it was who unlocked the Leeds Rhinos defence. The tackle was missed. And Catalan Dragons, I tell you what, there didn't look to be a lot of animation in that Catalan dressing room at half-time. Didn't look as though the paint was peeling off the walls, but something was said, because the Dragons have really come out breathing fire in this second half.
Sometimes, Bill, silence is golden. Oliver Elmer has been a real standout player this year. Look at the line that he runs. He just runs really strong. And what about that from the big back rower? He steps off his left foot. But this is what's going to get him back into the game. They looked absolutely out of the game at half-time, but they've come out really strong. He rides that tackle. He's so strong. He gets that try, and they are back in this game. And come on, says Kevin Walters.
7th try of the season for Ollie Elmer, who's making his 28th consecutive appearance for this Catalan Dragon side. And the non-Leeds supporters in the stadium enjoying this. The champions just being given a little bit of an uncomfortable moment. And the Catalan Dragon supporters enjoying it. They've travelled a long way. And it's starting to look a bit more worthwhile for their side now, as Muniz adds another 2 points, and Catalan Dragons cut the deficit a little bit more.
Well, Sean, what do you think Kevin Walters will be thinking? Can they get back into this game?
Well, he will be, certainly. They're back in the game, aren't they? They're back in the game at 30 points to 12, which is a silly thing to say, but when you're down 30 points to nil and such a comprehensive display by Leeds in the first 40 minutes, you just couldn't imagine this would happen within 8 minutes of the second half. But it had to happen if Catalans were going to get back in the game. Brian McLennan there, we just saw on the screen, he would be just a little bit nervous now, knowing that their team still has plenty of time to control this match, but the way that Catalans are running, they're running with plenty of purpose, plenty of pace. They're playing the ball much quicker than they were in the first half. The reason? Simply because they've had the ball.
That's the key. Leeds haven't had the ball yet. Catalan need to keep it off Leeds, but stick with me on this one. I think Leeds, once they get the ball, they got more tries in them today.
Well, it's Catalan in possession once again. Back-to-back tries have given them a glimmer of hope in this game, as Ferriol gets to his feet to play the ball. The last of them from Olivier Elmer, who's got a great try-scoring record, averages a try every other game for the side. 30 points to 12, the scoreline then. Leeds still in the driving seat in this game, but not in the driving seat so far in the second half. On the last, and they're running it. They're keeping the ball alive with Jean-Philippe Bale. Bale, a cross-field kick that if somebody on this side of the field had been alert to, could have worked out quite well for the Catalan Dragons, but I don't think anybody was anticipating that.
No, promote the ball, promote the ball, promote the ball. That's what this Catalan team are doing. They've gone out of a real urgency and real, looking at the defence, has been magnificent in the first 9 minutes. They weren't winning any collisions in the first half. They seemed to be dominating, trying to turn the Leeds players onto the back.
Ferriol with a couple of big tackles. The previous one on Key Senior had Senior just wondering what he'd been hit by, and I don't think he was that impressed by it. Here's Diskin now. Diskin pops the ball up to Kylie Luluai. That's the 5th tackle as Thierry Alibert screams held. And Sinfield gives this one a bit of height. And Dimitri Pello is underneath that, but did well because he was looking into the last bit of sun that's still covering that side of the field.
And that was it, Bill. It was clever play by Sinfield. There's not much sun left in this stadium, but Kevin Sinfield putting it over there onto the right-hand side, really testing the Catalan winger.
Only somebody like a winger or a fullback would be able to appreciate just how hard that was, wouldn't you, Brian? You would know how hard that would be to catch.
I've had plenty of them drop on my nose.
I was going to say, you must have dropped plenty of them as well.
Not wrong.
Maguire. And Thierry Alibert telling him he was outside the 40 as he put that kick in. Only just. Brent Webb looking to run it back, but Vincent Dupont quickly down to close him down.
And again, we said in the first half, the kick chase wasn't very good off Catalan, but then on this occasion, it really was. A lot of sting in these tackles.
Here's Jamie Peacock now for the Rhinos. Kylie Luluai, the big guns, taking the ball forward for the Leeds Rhinos. 3 tackles gone. Peacock got that one right up on his nose. Managed to keep a hold of it. And again, big hits from the Catalan Dragons, but good offloading, keeps the ball alive from the Rhinos. It's Burgess who managed to get it away, and Jamie Jones-Buchanan drifting across the field, then finds Ryan Hall. Hall tight to the touchline, links with Senior. Senior eventually is tackled by Cyril Gossard. Gets to his feet to play the ball. On the last, Burrow thumps the kick into open space down the middle of the field. And Clint Greenshield's not willing to take a chance on that one, running dead. Brings the ball back and reaches his own 10-metre line. Gets a quick play the ball. And Mogg offloads. Catalan being adventurous there.
They've got a spring in this step, haven't they, this second half? They've got a real self-belief. They like to throw the ball around, trying to win the collision at all costs now. Kevin Walters will be very happy with the way that they've started. There's still 28 minutes to go in this game, and guys like Jamil Fakir, there's guys that will punch real big holes into this Leeds side.
Catalan have dominated possession in this second half, and it's completely turned around in the second half. It was something like 66-34 in the first half in favour of Leeds, and this second half it is virtually reversed in favour of the Catalan Dragons. Maguire puts that kick straight down the middle of the field, skips away from Donald, and he adjusts to gather it back. Dimitri Pello wrestles with him, eventually gets a hold of him. Here's Lee Smith now, and Smith has lost that ball, and again it's been scooped up, and Muniz is on to it, and the Catalan Dragons looking to capitalise on another Leeds Rhinos error.
They're attacking Leeds in defence. They're putting real pressure on them when they're bringing the ball out.
Jamil Fakir.
There you go, Oliver Elmer dislodging that ball. Muniz picking the ball up.
Here's Maguire. Maguire pops it up. Good hit by the Leeds defence to stop Gossard, but a quick play the ball from the Dragons. Oh, Maguire's gone without it, and the chance goes begging, and Leeds will come away with Senior. It was Ali Lawatiti who swooped on the loose ball, and it's Leeds in possession.
It was a wasted opportunity for the Catalan team. Dropping the ball, Maguire, but here you go, Lawatiti picks up that ball.
Problems for Keith Senior in back play, just being checked out by the medical team. He says he's okay. He's back on his feet. And Leeds in possession with Sinfield. Sinfield spins away from the first and gets the pass away to Danny Maguire, who is out there on the field, and the penalty will go to Leeds as well. A flop, says Thierry Alibert.
Oliver Elmer really going to hurt his teammate, giving silly penalties away like that. The tackle was complete. Retreat back the 10 yards and get set to defend.
When you're chasing 18 points, Terry, in a game, that's a really poor 1-minute play from Catalan Dragons. They cough up silly ball on the Leeds line and then give away a really cheap penalty, allowing Leeds a really good ball set now.
And probably this is the best opportunity Leeds have had in this second half, which has been dominated by the Catalan Dragons, and now Leeds trying to dominate them. It's Luluai on the charge. He plays the ball close range. Burrow now. Here is Danny Maguire. Burrow and Maguire are reunited. Lawatiti and that ball are reunited. Maguire is there in support, looking lively. Ryan Hall, and Hall is tackled. Senior, Jamie Jones-Buchanan. And Jamie Jones-Buchanan offloads. Ali Lawatiti will try and stretch out one of those long arms and that great big paw and plonk the ball down, but he can't. And he takes a bit of time to untangle himself there. Burrow coming from deep. Sinfield now, but Sinfield gets the ball off to Burrow. Burrow with a little chip kick in, and Dimitri Pello is able to gather that one, and the danger goes, and they get the penalty as well.
Lee Smith giving a penalty away for a high shot. Brian McLennan looking round. This Catalan team, you really would have feared for them if they would have scored a try. Leeds, then would the heads have gone? But they defended the line very well, didn't they, Brian?
What's the answer? I don't know. Brian McLennan's going to be scratching his head and wondering why they've come out with such a sluggish start to the second half.
But you know, maybe it's not sluggish as well, though, Brian. Maybe you've got to credit Catalan side as well.
Absolutely, I give them credit, but Leeds have had a couple of opportunities with the ball. It started with Ian Kirk mistiming his run, coughing the ball up on their own line.
Sometimes you come out sluggish because you're leading 30-0. And you sit in the change room and think, well, there's not much more we can do here. And we've got a turnover here, Bill, I think, is it?
David Ferriol is outraged by that decision, and he's got every reason to be outraged. And again, much waving of hands below us from the Catalan contingent.
I have no idea of French. I was trying to read his lips there, but I'm sure he's very upset with that decision. There was a Leeds hand in there. And again, Leeds are on the attack in Catalans 40. Can they defend another set of 6?
But Ferriol has responsibility to keep a hold of that ball, which he failed to do. And Leeds get head and feet at the scrum.
It's a bit harsh on Ferriol, that there, Bill.
Here's Maguire. Maguire, senior, hurdles over the body of Casey Maguire. Senior to his feet to play the ball. Another tackle that Keith Senior wasn't impressed by. This one, the last one was by Cyril Gossard. Diskin, Burrow, Sinfield now for Jamie Jones-Buchanan. 3 tackles gone in this set of 6 for the Leeds Rhinos, who are just looking to re-establish their dominance of this game. Here's Jamie Peacock. 20 metres out now. Maguire hasn't trained that much with the first team this week, or trained that much full stop because of the shin splints problem that he has got again. Sinfield stabs a little kick in. Brent Webb will chase it, and across comes Vincent Deport to clear the danger just in the nick of time before the Kiwi fullback could get there.
It was a good job. Vincent Deport read that well, because you could have seen it would have been try time there for Brent Webb. A good kick from Kevin Sinfield, but he's come from nowhere, Deport, to put that ball out. He wasn't taking any chances whatsoever.
This is more like Leeds, just building a bit of pressure now.
Stay on.
So the goal line dropout, and Jamie Peacock, that loping stride as he runs it back and barges his way past David Ferriol at the first attempt, is then stopped by Elima. And then Luluai with another big charge for the Rhinos.
Hold.
Diskin.
Remy,
Burrow, looping pass for Maguire. Maguire back for Webb. Webb back for Burrow. Burrow, stuttering run, but then he's pinned to the ground. 3 tackles gone.
Cyril, go.
Peacock turns and offloads to Diskin, and Diskin, Maguire has lost that one, and his opposite number, or his namesake rather, Casey Maguire, has picked that one up. Then the penalty conceded as they tried to stop Casey Maguire getting to his feet to play the ball.
And there's a lot of hunger in this Catalan side. Casey Maguire putting his body on the line. Brent Webb coming up, trying to slow him down, giving away the penalty. Ryan McLennan scratching his head.
Okay.
Real Jekyll and Hyde performance this from the Leeds Rhinos. Sublime in the first half, and they've really looked out of sorts since they've re-emerged. And the Catalan Dragons, having withstood those 2 Leeds attempts on their try line, back in possession and taking the ball forward with Remy Casti. Casti plays the ball. Kane Bentley for Casey Maguire. Bentley's arrival has allowed Maguire to move out of the scrum. Taking the role of Greg Bird. Bird on the sidelines.
Well done.
And here's Adam Mogg. Mogg, he's just got such a lazy style, Adam Mogg, but deceptive as well.
It looks like he has so much time on the ball every time he gets it, looking direct in his troops.
Here he is again. His troops on his shoulder, and the ball's been snaffled by one of the opposition, Jamie Jones-Buchanan.
He was aware there was 3 players that were running at him in the defensive line. He was stood there. He was aware that it was going to be a little tip-on pass. He put himself in the right place to catch that ball and really ease the pressure for Leeds.
Read it well. Leeds ahead by 30 points to 12. They were 30 points to 0 to the good at half-time. So Catalan have dominated this second half so far. Lee Smith plays the ball. Here is Sinfield. Sinfield takes the tackle, and Maguire will take on the kicking duties. Just slice that one a little bit, and it's gone straight out on the full.
And that won't help the cause at all. Maguire kicking the ball out on the full. It's got to go back to where Maguire kicked that ball from. It's just after the halfway. So, Catalan have the ball. Can they build any more pressure?
You know, I posed the question at the start of the game, which Leeds were we going to see? The team that put Huddersfield to the sword or the team that lost to Harlequins last week? We're seeing a bit of both. First half, we saw that exquisite Leeds, the play of the champions. We're seeing in this second half a really patchy performance.
I'll tell you exactly what's happened here. Leeds have gone out there, blown Catalans away, and think these guys don't want to be here. They've gone in at half-time. Brian McLennan's probably given them some sort of warning about how this side might be capable of coming back. Kevin Walters has probably spoken about personal pride and, you know, the fact you've got to go out there and compete and contest. And that's what's happened. They've gone out and done it, and Leeds have sat back a bit and got a little bit of a wake-up call when Kane Bentley scored that try. All of a sudden, this can't happen again. And then Olivia Lima goes over and scores, and then there's a little bit of panic.
You're exactly right, Sean, but you'd think 20 minutes into the game, they've got enough players to arrest that.
Well, it's Catalan in possession on the last tackle, and they're running it at the moment. And then Maguire chips the little kick in. Dupont is on the end of that, but he can't get over the try line. And great defence from Hall. What great work from the winger.
He couldn't keep his feet and get over Ryan Hall. That was very good defensive work from Ryan Hall. See the neat little kick by Maguire into the corner. Dupont gets the ball, but Ryan Hall, there was no way in the world he was letting go then.
Danny Medeiros is back on the field for the Rhinos. Things went well for them when Medeiros was on in the first half. They'll be hoping they can recapture that sort of form. Haven't seen it so far in this second half. Still the Catalan Dragons dominating the possession. Fifth tackle just inside the Catalan half, and Rob Burrow finds the corner of the field, and back goes Clint Greenshields. Greenshields runs it straight back at Rob Burrow.
And doesn't he stand tall for a little man? That might be a daft comment, but he's strong as an ox, Rob Burrow.
Dimitri Pello off his wing to take that ball forward. Two tackles gone. Leeds looking to restrict the Catalan Dragons. Oh, I was going to say restrict the progress, and then they concede the penalty.
Saying that they're not squared at the play ball, and that's because the Catalan players are starting to win the ruck. They're getting up, they're playing the ball quick, but they've not found touch.
That is a cardinal error from this Catalan Dragons side, and they could be made to pay for that. It's probably their first error in this second half. They went for distance with the kick, and the ball just didn't have the legs, and so it's Leeds who have possession. Just inside their own half, the Rhinos. Still to come, kicking off at 7 o'clock on Sky Sports 1 and HD1. The finale here, it's Warrington Wolves against Hull Kingston Rovers. Their supporters in the ground, waiting for the game, still to come. On the last, Sinfield shapes to kick. Well, he does kick, but it's into the arms of Dimitri Pello. Not one of his best.
No, but they're there. The white shirts are there. There's Danny Maguire and Jamie Peacock and that man Kevin Sinfield chasing up. This is a real war, this. You feel that if Catalan want to go on to win this game, they've got to score in the next couple of minutes.
You know, whatever else happens in this game, this has been a really good 24, 25 minutes from a team that was 30-0 down at half-time. Despite the fact that Leeds have, you know, come up with a few errors in the second half, this is a performance Kevin Walters could definitely work with.
But the error from the Catalan Dragons, and Greenshields not able to keep a hold of that pass from Olivier Elmer. It was really flung virtually in his face.
Oliver Elmer looking to promote that ball. He knows that the clock's ticking down, but Clint Greenshields wasn't a word. He was trying to set up for that next play. Oh, he's a real finest, Clint Greenshields. I think he's a fantastic player.
Well, he's been ever present for every weekly round for the Dragons in 3 seasons with the club, which is an incredible record from the fullback.
It's only because the forwards are stopping him from getting hurt, Bill.
Wow, TT, and look at the way he just withstood the first challenge. Casey Maguire just bounced off the big Samoan. Here's Rob Burrow. Maguire, Brent Webb made that look so easy, but the pass was dipping down by his toes. And that one, well, they end up in touch. Scott Donald nowhere for him to go there. Lee Smith's pass really forced him into a corner.
But good defence by Dimitri Pello. Trying to offload the ball. Little Matt Gidley flicker the ball as he goes out. Dimitri Pello was aware of that. He's got Scott Donald and knocked him over into touch. Good wing play.
Yeah, and I think that pretty much sums up this half, doesn't it? Leeds have had a couple of goes. They haven't really controlled the ball, but they haven't controlled the ball because the Catalans' defence has been so much stronger, been so much better. They've been able to pick up their runners. They've been able to get to the man on the ball, and, you know, he's been a threat for them, and been able to deal with that a lot better than what they were dealing with in the first 40 minutes.
Warrington against Hull Kingston Rovers still to come then. That's on Sky Sports 3 and HD3. 7 o'clock, that's on. But still got to see whether Leeds can weather the storm in this game. Looked so easy for them, and it could be now. They could be in for the try. I reckon this might be another video ref call, or will Thierry Alibert award that to Scott Donald? Yes, he will. And that could be the try that settles the issue and maybe just puts a lid on this Catalan comeback.
It was the offload from Oliver Elmer. They're trying everything. They had to force the issue. They're now 3 scores behind, but if they wanted to get back into this game, they had to promote the ball at all costs. And the cost on that occasion was Scott Donald scoring the try.
Only his 3rd try of the season and his first since early March for Scott Donald. He's had a real drought by his standards.
He's been strong all game, Oliver Elmer. As I say, he looks to promote that ball, but Scott Donald is aware of that. The player wasn't pushing up tight enough on Elmer's shoulder. Seeing Clint Greenshields hanging back, Bale had pushed through too far. Dimitri Pello wasn't expecting that ball, and Scott Donald put himself in a real good position to come up with that ball and score that try. That's a real good effort from Oliver Elmer this afternoon.
Apart from that,
Donald, the try scorer, and that's probably settled the Leeds' nerves now. The supporters possibly breathing a little bit easier as Sinfield adds the extras. And normal service is resumed. Leeds ahead now by 36 points to 12. And the Rhino supporters find their voices again, and Scott Donald finds the try line again. Disallowed one in the first half, but no doubt about that one. So can the Catalan regroup and just try and make a competition of it in the closing 11.5 minutes now?
And you'd like to think that they will be able to, Bill. They know that this game's gone now. They're not going to come back and score 24 points in 12 minutes. But it's all about putting on and building for the following weeks to come in the Super League season, getting better and better, and trying to control the lead side, trying to build on something that they've done in this second half.
yeah, and it's about something Sean spoke about earlier. Maybe not winning the game, but going out and winning the second half. They're 12-6 up in this second half, and I think to come away with that sort of result after going 30-0 down would be a positive.
Well, Leeds are being positive now. Maguire and Burrow. Well, didn't Greenshields do well there? He waited for the pass, and Burrow was tackled, but here come Leeds again. That's the 5th tackle as Sinfield is stopped. It was Elmer with the tackle. Burrow drills a little kick in. Peacock was chasing it, and Greenshields is there to save the day.
Good work by Greenshields, grounding that ball, but what a fantastic play to stop them from scoring the try. It was a 2-on-1, but there you go. He turns up, he's come up with a tackle that saves the try. Watch this for fantastic football from Greenshields. He doesn't commit, he backs off. He sees that the pass is there from Maguire. He stops that, and then he gets back behind the in-goal area to ground that ball.
That's outstanding full-back play.
That's one of the reasons he was named in the Super League Dream Team in 2008, Clint Greenshields.
First, move Olivier!
But Leeds get the penalty, and Elmer again penalised, just trying to delay things a little bit too long for the referee's liking there.
And if there's one thing in Oliver's game that lets him down, it's giving away these penalties. The ruck was controlled, all he had to do, Jerome Guisset stands up, you've got to get up and let the man play the ball. They'd won the collision, they'd won the contact, they'd turned them on the back, but don't give that penalty away.
Kylie Luluai, and Luluai almost to the line. Just trying to stretch out there, couldn't get his arm free, but so close, Kylie Luluai. Sinfield for Burrow. Burrow trying to duck under the tackle. Catalan weren't having any of that. Gossard, who got a hold of the Leeds man. Webb, Jamie Jones-Buchanan on his shoulder. Here is Sinfield now. Sinfield for Maguire. Maguire on for Peacock, and Peacock, lovely offload from him. Finds Ian Kirk. 4 tackles gone. They're right in front of those posts are the Rhinos. Badeiros pops the ball up, and Kylie Luluai has gone without it. There's just not the fluency that we saw in the first half from this Leeds Rhinos side.
Danny Badeiros has looked for this big crash play, trying to get Kylie Luluai in a one-on-one, but he loses that ball. He has a little look up. He saw that the Catalan player was in front of him, but again, that's good defence from Catalan. Let's credit them. Let's not talk about Leeds having an off part in the second half. I want to credit the Catalan players.
Here's Dimitri Pello. He's been one of the strong performers in this second half for the Catalan Dragon side, the New Caledonian winger. Bell plays the ball. Here's David Ferriol. He too has made an impact for the Dragons, but Leeds really living off the fat that they accumulated in that first half when they gorged themselves on that Catalan Dragons defence, or lack of it, and all the possession they had, and they've been able to weather the storm in this second half.
They've weathered the storm, and the game's not over yet, but the game is over, as in the points will go to the Leeds side, but Catalan have really got to concentrate. They've still got to come up with an effort, try and score a try, try and finish the stronger.
So after 4 defeats in the last 5 games, this is a definite improvement for the Leeds Rhinos side, but do you think it's Leeds back to where they were?
In the first half, they were back to where they were. They were absolutely outstanding. Everyone was pushing up, they were supporting each other, they were very disciplined in all the things they were doing. The kick chase was there, promoting the ball at all times, and Danny Badeiros had a real big first half, but the second half they've gone off the boil, and they've been really outplayed in this second half.
As Terry said, the Catalan winning this second half at the moment by 12 points to 6. That'll be an achievement. And of course they have to face St Helens in the Cup next weekend, and Leeds, it's strange to say, Leeds will not be involved, and that's another kick out on the full, and that was great pressure on the kicker, and I think it was Cyril Gossard who really got in the face of Rob Burrow there.
Rob Burrow going for the 40-20, stood behind the ball. If that ball would have gone into touch on the 20-metre mark, it would have been a scrum to the Leeds side. But here we go. This is the field position that these Catalan players want to be in. They're directing up. They're going to send big Dave Ferriol in for this one. Can he get a quick play of the ball? Can they play off the back of this?
Ferriol to his feet, plays the ball. Maguire finds Mogg. Greenshields has joined the attack on. Dimitri Pello couldn't take the pass from Greenshields. It was sailing away from him. Disappointment from the winger, but the pass was a tough one to take.
The pass was a tough one. The sun was in his eyes as well. Dimitri Pello looked up, saw Scott Donald. Disappointed with that effort.
This last 5 or so minutes from Leeds is going to tell us a lot. Are they going to be happy just to sit back? They know that the game's won. That's done. Catalan, they're not going to win this game, but are Leeds going to come back and try and get up the other end of the field, finish the game on a high, or just, as I say, roll over and be happy with what they did in the first half?
Will Catalan Dragons allow them to? Jamie Jones-Buchanan as we enter the last 5 minutes of this game then. Warrington against Hull Kingston Rovers still to come to wrap up this magic weekend. The pass from Senior was a real little out the back of the hand job, which Ryan Hall pounced on. Jamie Jones-Buchanan, and David Ferriol is there again. He's certainly put himself about in this second half.
He has tried to really lift this Catalan side, dislodging a few balls, coming up with big shots like that.
Peacock gets to his feet to play the ball. Burrow outside the 40, puts the kick in. And Greenshields, virtually back on his own try line, gathers for the Catalan Dragons and then brings it away and gets it to Dimitri Pello.
They're not giving up, Bill. They are not giving up. They want to finish with a flourish. They want to build on this second half performance going into the next game that they play.
Well, they've certainly salvaged some pride in the second half of the Catalan Dragons, and they've redeemed themselves, I think, in the eyes of the Dragon supporters who've travelled here. There's been a lot less arm waving from the contingent down below us instead. Maguire, little kick ahead, and that'll find touch. I think he was hoping that maybe Vincent Deporte would have the legs at this late stage of the game to go on a chase.
This game has definitely been a game of two halves, hasn't it? They should really pick two man of the matches tonight. The first half, he'd obviously go to a Leeds player, but I'm sure the second half will go to a Catalan side. And Oliver Ellerman, I think, has played really well throughout the full 80 minutes, and the impact as well that David Ferriol's had and Jamil Fakir as they've come off the bench for the Catalan side.
So Leeds on course for a victory, and that'll be a welcome change of fortune for the Rhinos after the slump that they've been through. Remember, the worst in a Super League campaign for the last 3 years.
And I think that's the most important thing to come out of this game, isn't it? You know, sometimes we talk about getting the performance right, but really it's about getting the 2 competition points. That's what they want. They want the 2 points of Leeds Rhinos to get back on the winning ways. They'll talk about the performance being patchy, being terrific in most parts of the first half and being a little bit ordinary, but at least we got the win. Here's Danny Maguire offloading, and you know, there's a number of those things, Bill, that just haven't gone their way today, and that's, I think, when a team like the Leeds Rhinos are at their best, this normally develops into a try, and that's probably just not quite happened enough today for them.
Absolutely, yeah. Another opportunity going begging there, and the frustration from Brent Webb really sums up the second half of the Leeds Rhinos. Just hasn't clicked. So Catalan Dragons maintain their second half superiority. Here's Green Shields for Vincent Deporte, and Vincent Deporte away down the sideline. Donald is coming across to try and close him down, and Deporte comes back infield and takes the tackle. They do want to finish with a flourish. It's the Catalan Dragons, though, who are flourishing. Mogg, they try and get the ball wide. They do get the ball wide. Here's Ferriol, and Ferriol driving towards the try line. What reward that would have been for the big prop forward. They're not finished yet, but that pass is going to be swooped on by Maguire, and Maguire in a foot race with Dimitri Pello, and it's Pello who gets back for it. What a bizarre end to this game.
End to end. Dave Ferriol thought he was going to score that try. They threw the ball to Mr. Invisible. There was nobody there in a Catalan shirt, but they get back, they get the ball, and will they try and lodge another attack? Here we go.
Oh, just took a little off break there.
How often do you see that bounce up into Danny Maguire's arms?
Exactly.
Underneath the sticks.
Absolutely, yeah. But David Ferriol, he's only just managed to get back with his teammates after that tilt at the line. Oh, and Leeds are offside. So there is an opportunity for Catalan Dragons to make this scoreline a little bit more respectable. They take the tap. Maguire. Here's Gossard.
Okay.
Here's Jamil Fakir. Still going.
10 meters. Dan, Jimmy, 10 meters.
Plays the ball. Maguire. And Oliver Ellerman tackled by Danny Maguire. Muniz. Maguire through, stretches out. They do have the last words. And Casey Maguire it is, who rounds off a great second half performance from this Catalan Dragons side, which will have really pleased coach Kevin Walters, but the damage done in the first half by the rampant Rhinos.
You know, when you concede 30 points in the first half without scoring, you give yourself little, if any, chance of winning the game. I was fully expected Leeds to put the foot on the gas in the second half and come out with more. But I'll tip my hat to the Catalan Dragons. To be 30-0 down and come back with such a strong second half performance is a real, true reflection of the character that they have in that squad. They have no right to be anywhere close in this game. Casey Maguire ducking between 2 defenders, taking full back over the line. And it's no less than they deserve in this second half.
And Leeds, well, you wouldn't think they were on course for the victory, the Leeds players, as Muniz lines up his conversion attempt. The Leeds players, hands on their hips behind the try line, looking at a very dispirited bunch of players. Muniz has missed with the conversion attempt, but the Catalan Dragons have come back in this second half to make it a much more respectable scoreline. They've won the second half, in actual fact, in terms of points scored, 16 points to 6 in their favour. Leeds doing all the work and scoring the points that mattered in the first half, but the second half, well, a disappointing story for the Rhinos. No wonder this shaking of the head from Danny Maguire, and those Leeds players look very dissatisfied with themselves, and they'll be thinking, where did it go? Came out at the second half and it was as though it was a different side, and the Catalan Dragons team have transformed themselves as well in the second half to salvage plenty of pride in the eyes of their own supporters and in the eyes of the neutrals here as well, who were seriously thinking at half-time that this was heading for an embarrassment.
Exactly right, and it was important they did that. If they had come away from this magic weekend with 50 or 60 points put on them, that would have been very, very disappointing. They've come out and they've got something to work with for next week.
Well, Leeds have the victory after this miserable run of 4 defeats in the last 5 games. They're out of that little rut, back into winning ways, and one of the architects of this Leeds victory, certainly in the first half, was Danny Badiris. He's been named as man of the match. He's downstairs with Rod now.
Well, Danny's just joining us now. Danny, well done. From a personal point of view, it's been a long, long wait to actually start a Super League game. How do you feel?
Yeah, it has been. It's you know, but I've enjoyed my time just watching how it all unfolds and stuff. So I'm coming back from injury, and I respect the fact I'm coming into a championship team. So it's taken a while, but we'll get there in the end.
Now, you've won the game comfortably, but are the lads going off with a sense of frustration because of what happened in the second half?
Yeah, it's a hard one that year at half-time, and racked up a good score, but I think it's a sign of an attitude thing, a mentality to go on and win. So it's a skill to go on and win by a good score, but it wasn't to be. But credit to Catalan, they were threw everything at us and got a few tries in the end.
Why is it so difficult to go on with it when you're so far in front?
Yeah, mate, I think all coaches love to know that, but yeah, it's just applying yourself and knocking out the first 10 minutes and some good sets and applying some pressure, and we didn't do that.
The main thing is to get back on track though after last week, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. We're in the winner's circle, and keep ourselves afloat and get up there in the top 2.
Do you look at the league table now? St Helens have lost this weekend and you've closed the gap on them a little bit?
Oh yeah, I guess so, but we're into round 11, so a lot of twists and turns yet, but we're in the winner's circle, so that's a good thing for us.
On the injury note, how are you feeling now getting back on the pitch?
Yeah, good. Yeah, it's starting slowly to get together in my body, but I was very disappointed to come across. I fixed all my injuries up before I came across, and to have that first game and did my knee a bit again. So hopefully repay the fans down in the long run.
Finally, just on the man of the match note, £100 to give to the charity of your choice, Danny. Any idea where that might be going?
Yeah, the Leeds Foundation. I'll give that to those guys.
Okay, Danny, well done.
Yeah, can I say hello to my little daughter Ella at home? Thank you.
You've just done that. Well done, Danny. Clint Greenshill's coming in from the Catalan Dragons. Clint, is there any satisfaction when you leave the pitch because of what you produced in the second half, or is it frustration of what you produced in the first half?
Oh, there is, we just got to string 2 halves like that together, and we came out in the first half and just didn't stick in our tackles, and we showed that we can do that in the second half, and we just got to take the positives out of it and move on to next week, the Challenge Cup, and hopefully we take that bit of form and aggression into the Challenge Cup.
Is it broadcastable what the coaching staff said at half-time?
Sorry?
Is it broadcastable what the coaching staff said at half-time?
No, I was a bit fiery, but he just said he'd be happy if we come out and it was 0-0, just because he wanted to get out of fence right, and that's the main thing, and we did that and we showed that, and hopefully we can just stay positive,
Thanks for talking to us, Clint.
No dramas, thank you.
Well, sanity, probably, and confidence and pride restored for the Catalan Dragons in that second half. As you can see, it was 30 points to 0 at half-time. Therefore, the Catalan Dragons won the second half by 16 points to 6. And they played some good stuff. It was not evident in the first 40. Leeds won't be worried about that. They are now within 2 points of St Helens at the top. They have gone into second place, but for how long? Because Hull Kingston Rovers play Warrington next, and Hull KR know if they beat the Warrington Wolves, they will be just a point behind St Helens at the top of the Engage Super League table. Round 12 is all just about finished, apart from that one game. But the second half, Sean McRae, belonged to the Catalan Dragons.
Very much so, Eddie. It was a tremendous start for them, wasn't it, when they Leeds Rhinos made a mistake there. David Ferriol got a good shot on Ian Kirk, and Kane Bentley went next to the post to score, and that was just a couple of minutes into the start of the second half. We thought, oh, maybe, just maybe, but that maybe became another maybe when Oliver Lima was about able to go through a pretty poor tackle there, but it was a terrific play from Casey Maguire onto Adam Mogg, and that was, again, people were starting to think, well, maybe it can happen. And then this is the only try that Leeds scored in the second half, and it was from an intercept, and unfortunately, Olivia Lima was responsible for that, and it's a bit of a shame, really. And Casey Maguire there, right at the end of the game, going over to score a try, 36-16, and pretty comfortable.
Yes, comfortable on the scoreline, 36-16. They made it comfortable for themselves after that first half display. I mean, Terry, the Catalan Dragons finished third in Super League last year. That opening 40 minutes, they simply were a shadow of that team.
No, they were absolutely lost everywhere. They missed 14 tackles in that first half. Leeds were promoting the ball. They got 10 offloads as well. So they were playing second phase rugby against a Catalan team that was really going backwards. They weren't coming forwards with the domination, but I thought Oliver Elliott really injected a lot. I thought David Ferriol as well. When he come off the bench, you look for impact, don't you, Sean, off your bench, and you want someone to come on and really make a dint in the opposition. And Oliver Elliott and David Ferriol both did that.
I must say, when the first try went over for the Catalan Dragons in the opening minute, my mind went back about 5 weeks to the cup tie in France when they came back from 26-0 down against the Bradford Bulls. It looked like that was going to be another case in point here.
Well, it looked to me, Eddie, like the Leeds Rhinos had sat around and thought 30-0 up, game over. That's what can happen sometimes. Teams do that. And you think, well, we've got to go out there and go through the motions. And when you get away to that sort of start in the second half that Catalans were able to do, and Kane Bentley scored that try, it just puts that little doubt in your mind. And I think that increased the confidence for the Dragons. And the Leeds Rhinos are probably still thinking, oh, it won't make any difference. We'll be all right here. And that's why games can change. It's very difficult to come from a 30-0 deficit, though, and win a game. And that doesn't happen very often. But the Leeds Rhinos will be disappointed in that second half, that's for sure. Delighted with the 2 points. And I made that point in the commentary that, you know, really you talk about your performance second, you get your result and take your 2 points in the Super League. That's what it's all about. It doesn't really matter how you win sometimes, you just need to win. But they will build on that, and you know, we know they're a very good side. Catalan Dragons will take a lot out of it as well. A lot of confidence from that second half performance.
Do you know what? We looked at the shot to Kevin Walters in that changing room at half-time. And sometimes, Eddie, you don't have to say anything. Because as players, you look around at each other and you look in people's eyes and you see if they're up for the game. And they all would have knew, looking around at each other, that they've let themselves down and they've let the coach down. And they would have wanted to go out there and really improve on that performance. And that is it. You don't have to say anything. You do want direction off your coaches at half-time. Were you going wrong? I think the scoreboard told its own tale, didn't it, at half-time, where they were going wrong. They just weren't competing, they weren't being dominant enough in defence, and they weren't doing the little plays for each other. But in that second half, they really turned up for each other and really showed why they've been improving. And the last 5 weeks, they have been playing some really good football.
Well, you say that nothing needed to be said in the dressing room at half-time. A famous story in rugby league is that there was one team trailing by around about 30, 32 points at half-time. The coach walked in and said, I think we can do better than this, lads. And they lost by 72 points to 6, I think. So, I mean, you do have to say something now and again, don't you? That's where you fellas earn your money.
Well, we do, but I think the important thing to point out here is that you don't berate your players. You don't need to yell and scream. That doesn't work. Just doesn't work. Again, it'll be every now and again you'll hear a story of something like that. I've heard of coaches not even going in at half-time. Yeah. When there's been scorelines like that, the coach has said, can't do anything, sorry guys, you sort it out. But your problem, you sort it out.
They know as players, don't they, Sean? If you miss a tackle, you know you've missed a tackle. There's no getting away from it. It's on Sky Telly, and that's it. You know that you're under the spotlight. You've got to perform time after time, and you've got to play for 80 minutes, and that's the biggest thing. If you're disciplined in the game, you control the ball, you go a long way to winning the game.
Well, we've been here since yesterday lunchtime, and this is now the moment when we say that the final match of the Magic Weekend is about to be shown. It's the Warrington Wolves against Hull Kingston Rovers. It's coming up right after this next break. Warrington, of course, they have got eyes on the top half of the table, but Hull Kingston Rovers know, as they go into this game, because St Helens were beaten by Wigan last night, the Rovers can be just 1 point off the leaders if they pick up the win against Warrington. Some dramatic team news for Warrington as well, and we'll give you that when we return after this break. Stay with us. Warrington Hull KR follows to climax the Magic Weekend.